Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin bubble news channel. During times of high volatility, like when Bitcoin prices drop sharply, does your faith ever get tested? The price of Bitcoin keeps going down. It is official that this is the deepest return of the cycle. No, I've never seen anything as interesting and powerful as Bitcoin in all my years of work. So far, Bitcoin has lost more than 25% of its value. There are 8 billion people in the world who need digital property, and Bitcoin is the most popular network for that property. Now let's take a step back and ask ourselves, how are you going to make billions of people rich at the speed of light over a computer network? In a bull market, crashes happen all the time. Blockchain is the best idea ever. Plus, crashes happen all the time in a sideways summer, a crab market. And even back here, almost a month ago, I told you that the system had a button that would wipe out the longs if we went below $59,000, which would push the price down. This would bring down the price if it happened around $59,000 per coin. Let's talk about what comes next. We just broke through this huge backing though, as we look ahead and understand. We still don't know what will happen next or how much more people will sell after these MT. Gox payments. Bitcoin is going down after MT. Gox starts paying back users, which is fueling fears that people will sell the coin quickly. Before I go any further, I'd like to give you some background. Also, let me know what's new with the German government selling Bitcoin. The people who run Bitcoin are at best shady. To begin, here is what the major news outlets are saying about the MT, Gox sale. It's clear that MT, Gox has been closely watched in the Bitcoin community. This means that the event is expected. Another thing is that there was a lot of trading of claims before everything was worked out for the creditors. People have different ideas about whether or not 9 billion will just flood the markets all at once. It's also very unlikely to happen. As a result, any sales are likely to happen at different times, so there's actually some doubt about whether there will be any buyers. As I said, many of the claims have probably already been bought and sold, and people are either going to hold Bitcoin for the long term or sell it. It's not going to happen all at once though, so it needs to be controlled, and any new supply should be able to be taken in by the market. Of course she's right. About 140,000,000 Bitcoin have been released from MT Gox. It's about $6.6 billion that the market would have to swallow up if it were all sold at once. Well, the money coming into the Bitcoin ETF could cover that in the next 30 to 60 days. At their busiest, they were making $1 billion every day. Also, if they are all sold at once, there are only $7 billion to take in. Really, the news about MT, Gox has caused more fear, doubt, and uncertainty than the real trading from MT. Gox. In this case, it looks like the bark is much worse than the bite. Also, it would be better if we could finish this quickly. This was the last big exchange sale that everyone knew about. This will also go away. What about the fact that Germany sells Bitcoin? Bitcoin has two things going for it right now. One is what we might call a speculation hype boom. The other is that, say, Bitcoin lets people do business without going through the court system. This is going to end. Because of this, I don't think it can last. You are totally wrong about the two things you said. This is how much Bitcoin the government has. The US is at the top. Because the DOJ found criminals, they hold more than 200,000 BTC. That was then taken away by the United States. The next most are held by China, the UK, and Germany. And this big country is now selling. Berlin has sold nearly 4,000 Bitcoin since June 30th. These Bitcoins are being sold for euros. This is clear in the Bitcoin wallets that Germany controls. To the strong hands, I say weak hands. Now, Germany's Bitcoin can go to better places. These German government wallets are now being followed. So make sure you sign up. I'll let you know what's going on. At the moment, they are selling these assets like Bitcoin through Coinbase, Bitstamp, Kraken, and then wallets that they don't know about. And we should have known something like this was going to happen. This is the head of payments at the German central bank talking about cryptocurrency a long time ago. Perhaps an investment in cryptocurrencies is hard for me to picture as something like a long-term safe investment. You would say to widows and children that they should save their money for the next 10 years. I have a hard time believing this because the value of such a cryptocurrency is very low, if not zero. In fact, he's talking about crypto in general. Some of those points are good. A great many altcoins are not worth anything. But what does he think about Bitcoin alone? Bitcoin is the most well-known example of this, but the way it is run is at best questionable. There are parts of debasing Bitcoins. We don't call it degrading, of course. It's called a fork. but I would say that the difference is only in the words used. There's also the matter of trust. It's not just the law that concerns trust, let's say. Let's say the banking system is also part of it. In this case, the people who trade Bitcoin for other things. Think about more than just Bitcoin. Think about the whole environment. And is this environment really one you can trust? I really don't believe this. Again, I'll keep you up to date on what the German government is selling, so make sure you stay subscribed. Also, El Salvador keeps buying the lows. They actually buy 1 Bitcoin every single day. But these are my main thoughts. To start, Bitcoin is still very cheap compared to the start of the year, which means it's worth less than $40,000. We've only gone up since the beginning of the year if we look at it as a straight line. But we went up too far and too quickly because of the half and the launches of all the ETFs, including BlackRock ETFs. With these changes, we get what we want. And really, the next dip we had the chance to buy was right after the half, which was a lot of weeks later. That was about 23%. Then it was about 20 again at the start of the year. I believe this is a chance to buy on the dip. I'm not a business advisor myself. To be honest, I have no idea what will happen next. But how many people thought this? When Bitcoin was almost at an all-time high, I was a fool. The price of Bitcoin was $57,000 in March. Why did I not buy it? And now, LOL, I'm not buying this crap. When in question, look at the big picture and remember that Bitcoin doesn't really reach its peak for the cycle until 547 days after the halving. I love this too. Do not let short-term events cloud your judgment. This is a short-term sale for MT, GOX in Germany. Long-term, there are still the Bitcoin and ETH ETFs, Trump, or just the general election with Bitcoin as a topic of conversation, and the recent half of the Bitcoin supply. This sale price cut is a huge chance. Click the like button and send this movie to a friend who might be scared right now if it helped you. As always, I'll see you tomorrow.